Hi, my name is Ivy McQuain, and in 2004, I was diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder. How I became diagnosed with bipolar disorder, I'm sure it was a series of traumas in my life that happened to me that kind of compounded to one day I wanted to run my truck into a barricade in my life. They thought it was severe depression, but when I went for my psych evaluation, it was more mania that I suffered from, with lows, moderate lows that I would cycle through maybe in a given day. I was 24 years old when I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, a mother of two children, two boys who are now 19 and 15, and a wife at the time. I refused at that moment to I didn't medicate. I didn't want to medicate. I was young. I was, fresh out of college thinking about going into law school. I was married. I had two children. I was funny. I was witty. I had my own business. So there was no need for me to believe that I was bipolar, because in the black community, having a mental illness means you're crazy. It doesn't mean that you have a chemical imbalance. It literally means that you are crazy. I didn't want that. I didn't want that at all. So I refused treatment. It cost me my marriage, which is probably not a bad thing. And it cost me another relationship, and it kept me at a distance from relationships because I didn't believe in love, or so I told myself. And it just recently cost me another relationship, and I don't blame them. It's difficult to deal with somebody who is bipolar, even if they are medicated, unless you have them almost in a medical coma. It's very hard to deal with somebody who's bipolar, because we struggle with understanding. We struggle with just the simple things. We sometimes struggle with decision making. For me, when I was off my medicine, I was taking, drinking caffeine out the wazoo, which is a no-no for people who are bipolar. I wasn't eating healthy, and I kind of admit I still eat a little unhealthy, and so I have stayed up for 3, 4 days at a time. I have not eaten sometimes for 2 or 3 days and not even think about it. Just those are the things that I went through without being bipolar. My mood was all over the place, and literally in maybe a 5-minute time frame, I can go from being happy to mad to crying, and all in one fell swoop. And it's draining, and I put so much burden on my children. I put so much burden on those around me. No one really understands what it's like to be trapped in your own mind. So I decided to document my journey through bipolar disorder. I'm already on meds, and I've been on meds for about a month now, and I can say that as far as my aggression, it's completely subsided. But I still struggle with understanding. I still struggle. So to give you a little history about myself, I started my first business at 19 while as a sophomore in college. I have 4 degrees and associates in speech communication, a bachelor's in marketing, uh, a master's in business administration and public administration, and 1 year of PhD study. So I am very educated. Learning is not a problem for me. It's not. I'm a professional writer. I write other people's books. I write my books. I publish books. I do it all. I'm a media professional, 16 years. So I don't have a problem with getting in front of the camera, behind the camera, on the radio, behind the radio, any format of media, I got it. But I struggle in my personal life because every night I have to take pills. That's my alarm going off now, reminding me to take my medicine, because other than that, I would forget. So I decided to make this documentary, Young, Black, and Bipolar. I'm only 35. And for the rest of my life, I have to take medicine just to have a normal day. And I thought about it for a while now, getting off my meds. Because I don't want to be 70 years old popping pills just to have a clear thought. But I have to pop pills just to have a clear thought. It doesn't affect Well, actually, it does kind of affect my business because I can sit around and not get anything done. And so I'm learning, try to find balance in it. I just wanted to do this documentary because I know there's so many people out there who are struggling with bipolar disorder. And a little history on bipolar disorder: you're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. If you are self-medicating by taking alcohol and drugs, I would strongly recommend that you get your behind into a doctor's office, a psychiatrist's office, and get the help you need. But bipolar disorder is a chemical imbalance that affects your mood, and you can go from extreme mania, where you think you could conquer the world and do whatever you want to do, to severe depression, where you want to die. I happen to be more manic, and have moments of just irrational behavior, doing things that are just counterproductive to my life. And I've been that way since I can remember, as far as teenage going into my adulthood. My marriage to my former husband was pretty much a crap fest. His way of handling was just be quiet. My mom tries to be supportive, but she really doesn't understand. And I appreciate her for that. And my friends kind of distance themselves because they get kind of tired of hearing what Ivy's done this time. So you kind of walk alone.